Do you want me to pray for you?
Steve Dangle must be losing his mind.
Was this the most Mark Donk game ever?
Do you need a hug?
I could watch Steve Dangle react to Leaf games all day.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not! Leafs lose 7-1 to the Pittsburgh Penguins, or some of them anyway. But no. A bunch of you only watch like 2 or 3 videos of mine a year, only when the big bad losses come. I never play the intro in those videos. You're gonna have to watch it right now because I worked hard on it and it's good. Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a little ridiculous.
Good boy. Play all the hits. Left Toronto Maple Leafs. Let me finish. How am I supposed to go to bed after watching that?
I'm quite hyped.
With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. There was the intro. Did you like it? I thought it was good anyway. The Leafs lose 7-1 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know I've already said that, but it bears repeating. Hey, the Leafs have struggled on the power play in recent years. This is just a separate thought right here. Hey, you want to know what I think would be a great power play unit? Like this would be a PP1 on the Leafs. It would be a PP1 on most teams. Crosby, Malkin, Rust, Jeff Carter, and Chris Letang. Wouldn't that be a good PP1? That's like a nearly Olympic level PP1. Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Brian Rust, Jeff Carter, Chris Letang. They were missing all of those guys! Evan Rodriguez, who was a Leaf for like 5 minutes, was the first line center in this game. A dude named Drew O'Connor scored 2 goals today, tripling his career goal total. People were like, wow, this reminds me of that game where those Leaf fans, they took the selfie and they were all happy in the selfie, but then they went back to being sad because the team was getting caved in Pittsburgh. I saw people going, wow, this reminds me of Mike Babcock's second last game as Leafs head coach. This is how awful the Toronto Maple Leafs are historically and always. The fact that they can lose 7-1 to a team that barely has any players, and it reminds us of a game that was nearly identical to it. When fans say they've seen this movie before, they have! Even the way this game starts, the team with barely any players, again, they're missing Crosby, Malkin, Rust, Carter, and Letang. They're missing all those guys. They outshoot the Leafs 9-3, and the 9th shot that they get puts them up 1-0. Then almost immediately after, Jason Spezza ties it. We've seen this movie before. That's exactly what happened last night. Not even last game, 24 hours ago. 25, because the game against the Sharks started at 6 because the Leafs wanted to make sure they got an extra hour's rest heading into the game against Pittsburgh. How did that do, that extra hour's rest? And then Jack Campbell allows 1 bad goal, his first bad goal of the entire season so far. And like, geez, goalies aren't superhuman. They're going to allow bad goals sometimes. Even Martin Brodeur with that one where he just sort of drops his stick against the Anaheim Ducks. And you're like, what is he thinking? And then you realize, oh my God, that's Martin Brodeur. Everyone makes mistakes. With that 1 bad goal, the team, it was like a controlled demolition of a building. And I can't even blame that goal entirely on Jack Campbell because what on earth is that defense in front of him? The guy, like the Muzzin Hall pairing, you ever fart in one room and then walk into the other and the fart follows you? That was exactly how they covered him. Difference being the fart is more noticeable and they never got it back. Never, not even for a minute. They're down 5-1 heading into the 3rd period, and it was 6-1 before I knew Michael Hutchinson was in net. The puck was in the back of the net. Brian Boyle scores all alone after Keefe starts the 4th line to start the 3rd period. Talk about sending a message. And Brian Boyle scores, and the puck is in the net, and I go, that goalie's got a white helmet. That's not Jack. You're not Jack. What do you do? I don't even know where else to go. I hope Bunting doesn't get suspended because he might. Penguins fans even did the wave. The wave! They were destroying them so badly that they got bored and did the wave! And there's a lot to learn here. There's a lot to learn because I want to highlight a quote from someone after the game. There was a lot of, well, we can't get down on ourselves and this and that and all positive attitude from a team that very obviously doesn't have that. Jake Muzzin goes, everyone has to take a look in the mirror. We have to be better. That's unacceptable. We have to find the urgency, the passion, the love of the game, the love to compete for each other. All that needs to come. I don't know why it's not there. You know what the most concerning part of that Jake Muzzin quote was? You know what the most concerning part was? Is that it's from February 18th, 2020, and none of you noticed. Throw it up again. Look right there, February 18th, 2020. How long after you start looking for those things do you call off the search entirely? Here's something he actually said tonight. This is from Luke Fox. Jake Muzzin is being honest. Says Maple Leafs got outworked and it's inexcusable. Most of the other Leafs, dude, when they talk about their attitude and how, we're just moving on to the next game and their quote of the day calendar garbage, I just ignore them. But Jake Muzzin, I do not. You don't ignore Jake Muzzin. The Leafs brought in Jake Muzzin because he's a guy you can't ignore. Even when he's playing poorly, for the love of God, he knows how to win. He's done it. He's been around a team that has won, and he understands what it takes. So when he says it's inexcusable, it is. And you want to talk about championship DNA? You want to talk about knowing what it takes to win? Look at the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jeff Carter, he won a Stanley Cup, at least one with Jake Muzzin. Sidney Crosby, Conn Smythe winner. Evgeny Malkin, Conn Smythe winner. The Penguins were missing so many cups from their lineup. I didn't even mention Letang or Rust. All those guys won cups. But it's the organization. The guys all the way down to the minors. Lines 1 through 4, no matter what their role is. Pairings 1 through 3. The goalies, doesn't matter. They have championship DNA. They have Stanley Cup habits. Oh, someone get some players with those and give them to Sheldon immediately. What's that? We can't afford them. Why? Because we're paying a bunch of players a bunch of money, and it only works if they do. And right now they're not, so they're kind of boned. Steve, it's only game 6. It's only game 6. Oh. You're right. It's only game 6 of a season that is following one where they won the division and then blew a 3-1 series lead and lost by more than 1 goal in game 7, which was the only game they lost by more than 1 goal. And that season follows one where they got shut out in the 5th and deciding game in the bubble against Columbus. And that season follows them blowing a 3-2 series lead to the Bruins, having a chance to finish it at home and getting caved in there, and then getting outscored, I believe it was 5-1. And that season came after losing to the Bruins again, or I guess the first time or the third, whatever you talk about, where they had a lead heading into the 3rd period and blew that. The guy who could have had the series-winning goal was in this game, by the way, and it was Kasperi Kapanen, who tried all the way to the final horn. Holy smokes, did he want one? It's a miracle that after allowing 7 goals, he didn't get one. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you? It's not game 6. Why is the fan base so down on these guys? Down on the team? Why are their expectations so low? That's why. It's insulting to have to answer that question. Any Leaf fan who has asked that, I don't think you are obligated to answer it. Why are you down on the Toronto Maple Leafs? First time? One thing the Amazon documentary proved is the Leafs, players, management, and coaches all understand what the problem is. And what the first 6 games of this season prove is that they don't know how to fix them. That's the worst part. Okay, well, I'll try to earnestly answer some of your questions now. Hey, Coach Jeremy, is it just jitters and a few bad games? They've had more chances than any team in the league and are 6th in shots per game. Well, it's definitely jitters. You can tell they're in their own heads and they're very nervous about it. But the chances and the shots, I don't believe it. I don't. You can show me the numbers. I've seen the numbers. I don't believe it. I just don't. I was making fun of it during this game. They have the puck, ring around the rosy, and they're just going around and doing nothing. Nothing. They outpossessed the Penguins. They had outpossessed them by like 5 minutes or something like that, or 3 minutes when they were down 5-1. They had the puck more than the Penguins. Tristan Jarry is George Vezina himself. Igor Shesterkin is George Vezina himself. Anton Forsberg is George Vezina himself. That's just this season. Carey Price is George Vezina himself. That one might actually be right. Jonas Korpisalo is George Vezina himself. Tuukka Rask 3 times is George Vezina himself. The Leafs gave Tristan Jarry a hard, 12 minutes, and that's not gonna do anything. It's simply not. Here's a question from the peanut gallery here. When do they lose the benefit of the doubt? I think it was a long time ago, actually. And if it wasn't a long time ago, it was definitely May. They'll probably recover. It's an 82-game season. They're 6 games in. They'll probably win some games and probably be fine. I'm sure they'll figure it out over the next 76. But wowzers! You cannot lose 7-1 to a Penguinless Penguins team! Yeah, I got a question. Can I get a refund for my tickets by chance? Nope, sorry Megan, there's no salary cap on the amount of money you can spend on the team. Thoughts on Mitch Marner saying, I don't think we can be concerned? Yeah, I disagree. 400,000 views incoming. You know, a bunch of views on YouTube is cool, but the Leafs also haven't won a playoff series in more than half of my life now, and I'm getting sad. So, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. We might as well create some good from this catastrophe. Link in the description down below. Donate to Easter Seals. I'm trying to raise money for them. A bunch of people donated in the stream tonight. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle. It was quite the time, but literally about 200 people donated, and it was the only thing that made me smile. So let's keep that going. Until next game, that's all I'm concerned with.